Alright, let's get started here. In our last video, we looked at the last button and what would happen when we click on that to make our things go backwards through our player sheets. We're now going to add some code to the next button, and in fact it's going to look very similar to the last button. We're going to check, we could almost take the same code. We could say if, if the current sheet's equal to 0, well, what we're going to do is when we get to the end, we're going to wrap around to the beginning so we don't go beyond the end. And that will help fix us from the problem we had before. If you don't want to wrap around in the last one, you could have put a 0 here. So I'm going to put this if statement in, as I'm going to say current sheet equals, that should be a double equal to check, player list dot count, but this should be a -1. So if those are equal, and maybe I'll put a space between here for formatting purposes. So if the current sheet is equal to the playlist, like we can do this, and then we can set something up. But there's actually there's a mathematical function where we don't even need any of the if statement. I can say current sheet equals current sheet plus 1, right? Which is what we'd expect. And we can use a mathematical operator, which is called the modulus. Often we just say mod. And then, let's see, player. So what's happening here is we're going to add 1 to the player sheet. And the way that this percentage operator works is it will return the remainder after division. So what that means is if I have a number like 5 mod 3, what this means, this is actually going to give us a value of 2. And the reason is because if we want to write the number 5, we can write it as 3 times 2, 3 times, I'm sorry, 3 times 1 plus 2. And the way I think about this is I think, well, if I keep subtracting 3 from 5, what integer am I going to get? And unfortunately, this doesn't work well with negative numbers, because if I put in a -5 here, it creates some confusion. So computers and mathematicians think differently. But for positive numbers, which we have when we're adding, if we do like 5 mod 3, it's going to give us 2. And the nice thing about this is if we look at our example above where we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, if we're at number 4, 5 is going to go, if we look at 5 mod 5 is going to equal 0. And that's actually kind of what we want, is if we move from 4 to element 5, we really want to go back to element 0. So if we're at the end of our list, and if we go to become the same as what our playlist count is, then it's going to wrap around and go back to 0. Okay, so I think that's about it for this. Because we programmed a lot in the last one, I think we're pretty well to go here. Let's see if it's working. Alright, so I'm going to make you AA1. We'll update. We're going to add a new sheet, and we're going to be BB2. Update, add a new sheet. CC3. Update, maybe just add a new sheet. Let's see, we can go backwards. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, not too bad. Let's try going forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the next one should bring us back around to 1. And we can keep going forward, and we can keep going backwards. Alright, so we should be pretty happy. Everything seems to be working fine. We have the update sheet method working. the next is working, and last is working. Actually, and add is working. So the only one we have to worry about now is how can we remove a sheet. And this is really going to be the most complicated video. So in the next video I create, we're going to look at how we can remove or delete a sheet. And that's where things are going to get interesting. So I will stop here for now, and we'll finish up in the next video. Hopefully, I think it'll be the last one. All right, thank you.